It's a privilege to be here. And I've been an attorney, practicing attorney with my firm for 25 years. Been involved in the Board of Regents for about 9, and been involved with the Joint Public Agency for about 6. And have had some great leadership experiences, had some pretty bad leadership experiences. And I'm here to talk a little bit about some of those experiences that I've had. We've all gone through leadership experiences, and we've all read a lot about leadership, and I've really gotten into it, and I think it's just fascinating. I think it's imperative to successful businesses. But I love the quote by John Maxwell about they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Or about Simon Sinek, we heard about the why. Well, he focuses on sell the why, not the what. And I think those are extremely outstanding. And what would a presentation be without a sports quote? And I'm a sports junkie. In fact, I was kind of pouting around the house the other day after the Super Bowl, and Amy says to me, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Football's over. It's over until spring." And she said, "You know, Tim, Clare, sometimes I think you love football more than you love me." And I said, "Well, honey, I love you more than soccer." And it was a little cold for a little while at the house, so don't say that, even if it's true. But I think that Coach Belichick said, you know, the strength of the wolf is in the strength of the pack. And so working together, having relationships, having people on the team. We heard about team discussions today. I think those are imperative things, and I think that will lead to success. The fact is that any good business rises and falls based on leadership. Any good committee, any organization that you're involved with rises and falls based on leadership. And the success of that organization, however you define success, could be profits, could be client retention, whatever your successful measure is going to be focused on great leadership. And that's what we're here to talk about a little bit today. Those leaders who focus on the greater good rather than the personal gain. So I've always worked hard. I've always tried to set a good example, but I didn't understand what leadership meant. I didn't understand it until here recently, reading about it and experiencing it. I thought leadership was kind of part of a salutation, where you walk in and, "Hey, thanks for being here," and they turn to you and say, "Hey, thanks for your great leadership on this." I thought, is that just like, "Hi, how are you" type of thing? I didn't know what it meant. On the law firm leadership, traditional law firm was focused on the billable hour rather than on really creating that relationship with the client, really focusing on partnering with that client. On the board, we were talking about when I was campaigning. I remember talking with Tom Henning. Tom said, "What's the greatest asset of the university?" And I said, "Students. What do you know? We want to grow students. Maybe Nebraska football." He said, "No, it's leadership, because everything with that university, we've got to have great leadership." And I didn't get it at the time. So it was really something that I had to really work at. I didn't understand it. Also, in a personal experience, I failed at my first marriage. Quickly, as a single dad of 3 kids, I had to learn about this principle I'm going to speak to you about, which is the 100-0 principle. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but it was a failure. It was something I didn't have success in. So I think Maxwell and Sinek and even Belichick were right. I think hard work contributes to it, and I think setting a good example contributes to it. But I think what I've learned is that there's more to leadership. And I'm going to go through some examples where leadership, I think, has been successful and changed over the last couple of years with this principle, and then I'll tell you what the principle is. So in our law firm, we've gotten away from focusing on the billable hour. Yes, we've got to work hard. Yes, we've got to bill hours, but we're focusing now more on the relationship we have with the client, trying to truly partner with that client. Become their partner, know their family, know their children, know who they are away from the office, so that we're so engaged and so entrenched with that client. At the end of the day, could somebody come in and say, "Hey, we'll do your legal work for you for $5 less per hour." Are they going to leave? Not a chance, because I'm so entrenched with those clients, and I talk to them weekly, have for the last 25 years. That's the relationship, and that's something that you can't take away. Board of Regents, we focused two things with the board. We focused, two examples I'll give you. One, we invested everything we had into providing the best education for our students and to provide the best resources for our faculty so they can do research. We wanted to give everything we could as a board and empower those students and empower the faculty to be the best that they can be. With partnerships that we've had with the state, another great asset or activity that we engaged in, we wanted to be the best partner with the state and with the private sector. And we've had success there. We had the Building a Healthier Nebraska initiative. We've had the Doherty Water for Food initiative. We've had the Buffett Early Childhood. These programs were things that are going to truly benefit the state. But we invested everything we had into those things. What's the result that took care of itself? The result that took care of itself was that we now have record enrollment. We have record fundraising. We have record research dollars. We're recognized internationally by institutions, and we're doing great things. Not because our goal was to be recognized in these things, not because we were trying to have a top 10 cancer center in the world. Rather, we wanted to do the right thing for the benefit of the state. So those partnerships are important. Joint public agency. The city trusted us and the community trusted us with $380 million to build this facility. That's a lot of pressure. We remember at the time we had a group called the Arenos, and we had people saying, "Don't do it, this is crazy." We did it, and our mantra was on time, on budget. So how did we do? Well, we didn't finish it on time. We finished it 7 weeks early. We didn't finish it on budget. We were $20 million under. And we used 73% of the contracts were awarded to Nebraska companies. 91% of the people that worked on it were from Nebraska. And 65 internships were created, creating more jobs for people here in Nebraska. True success story. Did we go into it saying, "Gosh, I hope this works so that we can..." You got to be kidding me. Well, I'm going to take some liberties because these maybe took a little less time. But we did it because the focus was on the greater good. The focus was to provide an arena that everybody could be proud of, an area where everybody could be proud of. And that's what I think is exciting. So what's the common denominator of all those things? The common denominator, in my opinion, is what I call the 100-0 principle. The 100-0 principle is you give absolutely everything you've got to whatever the project is at hand, or the relationship, or the business, or the organization. You give everything you've got, and you're invested, you're engaged, you're committed, and you expect 0 in return. So what I'm doing is I am being interested rather than interesting. I have eliminated this disease of me and quit talking about me. I'm more interested in the organization. I'm committing to do everything I can to make that organization successful. I've got the attitude of gratitude. I mean, that's that 100%. You give everything you've got to that organization. You expect 0 in return. You're not expecting to get a raise or a promotion or a bonus or anything like that. You're expecting to get nothing in return. And what happens? That attitude of gratitude, that commitment, that passion, that 100% drive, what it does, that selfless attitude, it ends up turning around. So that person you're expecting 0 out of, they're going to give back to you in spades. They're going to give it so that this 100-0 suddenly becomes 100-100. And now that's when you have a beneficial organization. So we didn't try to, in the law firm, we're focused on trying to bill hours, but we're focused on the client. And we're having great years. The university, we're having international reputation enhanced. We're having, on the JPA, we're focused on this arena concept, and it's having tremendous success. So the focus of the 100-0 is much akin to some of the leaders that we have in this community, such as folks like Nick Cusick, the late Roger Larson, the 2015 leaders who went into it not expecting to get anything out, but what they expected was they wanted to make a commitment, a passion, investment into the community. And because of that, that's what's successful. Or, stated differently, a true successful partnership. And the fourth example, I think I told you there was 4 examples. The fourth one, I gave you 3. The fourth one was in your marriage or your relationship with your friends or family. Give 100%. And if you give that 100% and expect nothing back, you're going to have great dividends down the road. So thank you very much.